My name's Jack Kane, and I have over 23 accreditations and certifications in a wide range of areas, including Scaled Agile Framework, Kanban, design thinking, and the like, also DevOps. I live in 3 different worlds: the Scaled Agile world, the Scrum Alliance world, and the IC Agile world. I'm an accredited instructor for all of those organizations. And so, you know, I guess based on theory, I know the theory since I have all these accreditations and certifications, but I've actually done this stuff out in the field as well. My biggest claim to fame is I led a dozen coaches and 24 directors and senior directors for a year at Walmart in Bentonville doing a Scaled Agile rollout. Some of you might already be in the Agile world. You may already be doing SAFe. Others are new to it and are trying to figure out what the professional development might be in this. So we're going to be talking a lot about these types of things. So if your organization has implemented SAFe, there might be some questions or concerns that might come up, including, you know, hey, I have this title, but it doesn't match up with the SAFe roles that are on the big picture. I'll be showing you the big picture in a little bit. And then the question might be, well, if I have this title, which role in SAFe in the Scaled Agile Framework might be most appropriate for me? And what training do I need if I'm going to be in that role? And if I have other Agile certifications or experience, is that going to have an impact on which training I'm going to need? And what if I'm a leader? What if I'm leading the implementation? What if I'm a leader in the organization? What if I'm not IT or product management? What is the professional development path for each one of these types of people? So there's a bunch of questions that come up when an organization starts to do Scaled Agile Framework. The traditional titles that you may be aware of range from executive titles to team titles and everything in between. And the thing is that we don't use these types of titles very much in SAFe, if at all. We have other roles for them. So if you were a business analyst, for example, where would you be if that was your title? Where would you be in Scaled Agile Framework? That's one of the questions that you might ask. So this is the smallest configuration of the Scaled Agile Framework. We call this Essential SAFe. It consists of the program and team levels. And you'll notice that there's something called an Agile Release Train here. This is the big concept in SAFe. This is 50 to 125 people that work together to deliver something, either a product, a solution, a service, or the like. You'll notice that there are a bunch of people down here. We have the dev team, which consists of all the developers, the product owner, and the Scrum Master. These 3 roles consist of an Agile team, and we have multiple Agile teams on an Agile Release Train. Remember, an Agile Release Train is 50 to 125 people that work together. There are also other kinds of people. Now, these are at the team level. So you see over here on the right, you have team and technical agility. So that's the team level. And then you have above that, you have the program level. And at the program level, there are other roles, including the customer, business owners, product management, and system architects or engineers. And the special chief Scrum Master person, we call them a release train engineer. There are other folks as well in Essential SAFe, including system team and perhaps some lean UX support people. So these are a whole bunch of different kinds of roles that are maybe very different to what you've experienced in your own organization, especially if you've been doing traditional project management. Now, there is another another role. It's down here on the bottom, and it's called a SAFE Program Consultant. It's SPC for short, and that's what I am. So, in essential SAFE roles, just to list them out, we have the customer, the business owner. Now, the customer, of course, is someone who's typically paying for it and may also consume whatever is being built. The business owner is an executive in the organization that owns the value stream. So work goes from concept to cash through the continuous delivery pipeline. That's this part right over here. And the business owner owns this. They own this. Then we have another group of people. You might call them the three amigos at the program level. That's the product manager, the system architect, and the release train engineer. The product manager is interested in go-to-market. They're interested in flow. They're interested in prioritization of features. They own something called the program backlog. The system architect is interested in the technical aspects at the program level and mentoring the people at the team level. The release train engineer is a chief Scrum Master, a facilitator at the program level. Remember, the program level consists of an agile release train, which is 50 to 125 people. So these folks are the three amigos at the program level. Then at the team level, you have another set of three amigos. You have the product owner who owns the team backlog, the developers on the development team, and then the Scrum Master. Scrum Master is just like the release train engineer, has to be a strong facilitator. But like the RT, they also have to have other skills, including coaching skills, training skills over time, and mentoring others. Then we have the system team. The system team are technical folk that help build self-service tools so that the agile teams can actually do continuous delivery. So all the continuous integration tools, all the continuous deployment tools, the ability to release on demand. This requires tooling, self-service tools. Somebody has to create those, somebody has to maintain them, and somebody has to coach the agile teams on how to use them. The system team is very involved with that. They're also involved in enabling the program to do what's called a system demo. This is a continuous integrated demonstration of the work that the agile release train has done every 2 weeks. And then we have the lean UX people. Lean UX typically works both with the product owner and with the teams from a benefit hypothesis perspective of, are we delighting the user? So this also is baked into the Scaled Agile Framework. Now you can see this, essential SAFE configuration by going to scaledagileFramework.com and clicking on the Essential SAFE tab. You see that right there. Now you'll notice that there are 3 other tabs. These have other levels, the large solution level and the portfolio level, and those also have other roles, but we're mostly gonna focus on these for right now. We will talk a little bit more about the other ones, but these are the main roles. Also the SAFE program consultant. So when an organization decides to go and do SAFE, they either train someone to help them do the implementation and to be that change agent, or they bring in an external consultant to help them through that process and that journey. That's called an SPC. So there are additional roles in full SAFE. So here's full SAFE. This is where you have all 4 levels, including large solution and portfolio levels. And these folks at the portfolio level, there are other people called epic owners, the enterprise architect, and then the lean portfolio management team. Now, an epic owner is a role, so it can be anyone from anywhere in the organization that has come up with this epic size idea that needs to go through the portfolio Kanban system for review and an analysis review and either get a go or no go. They shepherd it through it. And once it gets the go, then they act as a subject matter expert for the teams. The enterprise architect is very interested, of course, in the standards that go through all of the value streams. And the lean portfolio management team is associated with the go, no go of epics at the portfolio level. They do other things as well, but these folks are typically executives, business owners, and the like. At the large solution level, we have a group of the three amigos there too, a solution manager, a solution architect, and a solution train engineer. So a solution train, which is described right here, you can see that there are multiple agile release trains and then a supplier value stream. Those three or more together consist of a solution train. So we have a solution manager who owns the backlog for that solution train, an architect that supports the technical stuff, and then a solution train engineer that facilitates and coaches for the proper flow of the process. We also have on the spanning palette over here something called the shared services team. Sometimes there are groups of people that they have a certain level of expertise that nobody else in the organization has, or there is a holdout from the old way of doing things, and they haven't necessarily transformed their organization yet to having completely cross-functional teams. And so you have these shared services teams that people go to for support in those areas. These folks also participate in the various activities at the program level, such as program increment planning, which occurs every 10 weeks. So let's connect the traditional titles to some of the roles in Scaled Agile Framework. So some of them are going to be the same, and some of them might be different. So what I'd like you to do is go down the list of the traditional titles and see where you're at, and then go over to the potential safe role, and then that might help you ask questions throughout the rest of this, this webinar. You'll notice that you could have more than one role. You could be on, so for example, if I'm doing a, let's say I'm a dev or a QA manager, that maybe that's my title. In the safe world, I might become a product manager. I might become a release train engineer. Or if I have a technical bent, I might become a system architect. Also, I might become a Scrum Master. I might become a product owner. But usually when they have the word manager associated with their name, then they're typically going to be at the program level. If you have the word analyst associated with your title, so business analyst, quality analyst, and the like, systems analyst, then you would most likely be at the team level. So you might be a Scrum Master, you might be a product owner, or you might be a development team member. So SAFE is role-based, as you can see, right? So the training associated is mostly role-based as well. And so here are, here are the different roles on the left. And so based on what you saw on the previous slide, where you believe you might be, you can see that there's some core training, and then there are some advanced training as well. So let's talk a little bit about that. So If you're an executive or a manager, then you're going to need to transform yourself into a leader if you're not already. So there's a difference between managing and leading. And in order for Scaled Agile Framework to work, managers and executives need to be able to lead in a Scaled Agile Framework environment. And they don't do this alone. They'll go to this Leading Safe course. And from out of that Leading Safe course, maybe some of them are going to become a SAFE program consultant, an SPC. So that's the Implementing SAFE course. And then some of the people might go to the Product Owner, Product Manager course because that's the role they're going to take on. Now, other folks in the organization are going to be working primarily at the team level, and so there are going to be a couple of classes for them as well. If they're going to be in the Scrum Master role, which is the facilitator role, they're going to go to the SAFE Scrum Master course, and later on, they're going to go to perhaps an advanced Scrum Master course. There's also a new course for architects. That is an advanced course. So an architect might go to the Leading Safe course. They might go to even a Safe for Teams course if they actually started previously at the team level, and then might go to this architect course. Now, there's one course that goes across multiple roles. It really doesn't matter where you are in the organization, and that is the Safe DevOps Practitioner course. That is an excellent course that I highly recommend regardless of your role. And this is actually a core course. So sometimes organizations might start with the DevOps course because they're trying to identify where their gaps are in their continuous delivery pipeline. Now, software engineers are going to, at the team level, are going to need to go to multiple classes. They'll go to the Safe for Teams, they'll go to the DevOps, and there's a brand new course called the Agile Software Engineering class. And that is all about Agile software patterns, also core to what they're doing. So the folks at the team level have the opportunity to go to multiple core training classes. If you're a release train engineer or a solution train engineer, then you would go to the Safe Release Train Engineering class. But before you did that, you would most likely go to the Leading Safe class. You might also go to the Scrum Master class. You might also go to the DevOps class. And then we also have a class that is specific for government, specifically, especially federal government, but also supporting of other types of government agencies, non-federal as well. Now, the folks that are in the government environment, they would take the Safe for Government class perhaps instead of the Leading Safe class. And then they would go and do these other things, depending on their role. So we have this architect class that I was mentioning, that's brand new. And there are two other classes that just came out, and this slide hasn't been updated yet from Scaled Agile. So I just put up these little icons to represent that. So there's this new 3-day course called Lean Portfolio Management. This is of course, at the portfolio level, and it's all associated with how to run SAFE at the portfolio level. And then for product managers and solution managers, there's a brand new course for them as well that is in beta right now. I think it's going to be coming out sometime in August for general availability. So we have a whole bunch of role-based curriculum that you can choose from. Let's ask some other questions now. So if you have experience, prior Agile experience, where do you start? So you might have the Certified Scrum Master certification or the PSM1 from Scrum Alliance or scrum.org. And the question is, do you have to start with the Scrum Master, the SSM course for SAFe? The answer is no. You can actually take the SAFe Advanced Scrum Master course or the Leading SAFe course, or both. It depends on how far along you are on your journey. Are you a junior Scrum Master or a senior Scrum Master? And then the same thing applies from the product side. If you have the CSPO or the PSPO, should you take the SAFe Product Owner, Product Manager course, the POPM? The answer is maybe. You should either take the Leading SAFe or the SAFe POPM course, or both, depending on how much experience you have in a scaled environment and product management. So if you don't have any product, you have only product owner experience and no product manager experience, you're probably going to want to take the POPM and the SAFe Agilist course. Then there are folks that have no experience or knowledge in Agile or Scrum. They wake up one day and somebody up above decided that the organization is going to implement Scaled Agile Framework. What do? Well, it can actually be very challenging to take the exam, one of the Scaled Agile Framework exam, if you have zero background in Agile or Scrum. It's highly recommended that you attend an Agile Scrum fundamentals course or some type of self-study prior to attending a role-based SAFe course. If you are at the team level and you've been doing traditional project management, you might get by taking the SAFe for Teams class, but even that might be a challenge if you've never done any type of Agile or Scrum at all. And that specifically, I'm talking about passing the exam. If everyone is always invited to come to any of these classes, there are recommended prerequisites, not hard and fast prerequisites on it. But just be aware that the SAFe exams are not easy for people that have zero background in Agile and Scrum. And you might want to do one of these different things that I recommended beforehand. Okay, so let's say that you're not in IT or product roles. Well, what do you do then? Well, we're talking about finance, HR, marketing, organizational change management. What SAFe training should they take? So if you're an executive or manager that works in these areas, you can benefit by taking the Leading SAFe course. This gives you the SAFe Agilist certification. If you are an executive that is part of the Lean Portfolio Management team, you're working at the portfolio level, then the Lean Portfolio Management course also would be highly beneficial. And then others in a non-IT product role might consider SAFe for Teams or an Agile, Scrum, or Kanban fundamentals course. Also, if specifically finance and HR and organizational change management, you might also just want to reiterate that there's a strong benefit for the Leading SAFe course because we're talking about business agility. We're not just talking about what IT does. So finance, HR, and organizational change management has to support and understand what IT and product are going through in order for the organization to have business agility. Let's talk now about the path for the Scrum Master. So let's say that you've self-identified that you want to be a Scrum Master, or you already are. How would this work? So you're either going to start with previous experience, or you might go to the SAFe Practitioner course. That's the SAFe for Teams course, the SP certification. There are a myriad of other courses out there from other organizations, and like I was saying, I teach in those. So there's a benefit if you have no background at all It's hard to be a Scrum Master if you can't even spell the word Agile, right? So these come from, like for example, there's the Scrum Foundations course. It's a 4-hour course from the Scrum Alliance. There's the Agile and Scrum Fundamentals course through the Scrum Alliance Registered Education Provider program. There is the Professional Scrum Foundations course from scrum.org. And then there's also from IC Agile, the ICP-AF, which is a Agile Foundations course. Sometimes they call it a boot camp. And that's a 2-day course as well. So you got to have a strong foundation in understanding the fundamentals before stepping into the world of being a Scrum Master. Now, you could go to just the Scrum Master course. And then after you go to the Scrum Master course, go to an advanced Scrum Master course, then the RT, the Release Train Engineer course, and then perhaps the SAFe Program Consultant course. I've been doing this since 2014 in the Scaled Agile community, and I had the Certified Scrum Master, the Certified Scrum Product Owner, and I was a Certified Scrum Professional and then I went straight to become an SPC. So some people go and do it that way as well. This is a basic progression. But some people go straight to the SPC route because they have the business acumen to be able to do that, or because they have done coaching or training in other areas, maybe outside of Agile and Scrum. So this is one path. If you have the CSM or PSM, then you might decide that you want to get the SSM, but you might go and get the SASM instead. The SASM is the SAFe Advanced Scrum Master certification. Now, it doesn't stop there. The role of the Scrum Master is to be a servant leader for multiple other roles. So those other roles include the product owner, the development team, other Scrum Masters, management, and the organization as a whole. So in order to do that, then it makes sense to understand and be trained from their perspective. So there's a myriad of different kinds of courses from Scaled Agile, from outside of Scaled Agile, that you can use to help develop your Scrum Mastering abilities. So the ones that I recommend after the SAFe Advanced Scrum Master course is the Product Owner, Product Manager course from SAFe, then the SAFe Agilist course, the Leading SAFe course. If you are working in a government environment, then instead of the Leading SAFe course, you would take the SAFe for Governments course, that's the SGP. And then regardless of what environment you're working in, as long as it is software related, you would highly benefit from the SAFe DevOps Practitioner course. That's the SDP. Highly, highly, highly recommend that. Now, while the SAFe Scrum Master course, just like the CSM and the PSM1, and the SAFe Advanced Scrum Master course, just like the others from the other organizations, they all include some levels of knowledge in facilitation and coaching, in professional coaching skills. They are not dedicated to those things. And there are other things that, an advanced Scrum Master, a senior Scrum Master needs to learn in order to be an effective release train engineer later on. So part of that journey, some of the development path might include taking a Kanban Fundamentals Practitioner course, might be a Design Thinking Fundamentals course. Both of those come from the Scrum Alliance's Registered Education Provider program. And those are both 2-day courses. And then IC Agile has 2 3-day courses or 1 5-day course for facilitation and coaching. So you could take a 3-day course in facilitation, or a 3-day course in team coaching, and or you could take them both together as an agile coaching boot camp, they call it. That's a 5-day course. All good courses. It's something that that you do over time, and you pick and choose what you think you need to learn to better serve the people that you are working with. Then we have the release train engineer. Once you become a release train engineer, then you're going to be working hand in hand with product managers, and also need to understand what solution managers are all about. And so you might take that new course that's coming out in August. And if you are working as a SAFe program consultant, where you're helping to roll out new agile release trains, you're definitely going to need to understand the perspective from the executive. And so the lean portfolio management class is something that you're going to want to get enabled in to teach, if not attend as well. Now, there's some other things that you might consider, you know, the agile software engineering class. That's also, since you're going to be working with architects and also need to understand more about the patterns associated with the individual developers, you might want to take the Agile Software Engineering class. That's a 3-day class, brand new class. And then later on, if you have a technical bent and you're an SBC, then you're going to want to perhaps you might want to take the architect's course from SAFe as well. So it's a long journey depending on what you're going to which area you're going to spend more time in. Like I said, I have 23 of these certifications and accreditations. I'm going to be getting 2 more this month. Hoping to pass I have to pass exams too. I'm going to be doing that this month. And then next month, a new course is going to be coming out, the APSM. So I'm going to have to take an exam for that as well so that I can teach it. So this is the Scrum Master professional path. Okay, and there's a lot there. Now let's look at the product owner. Product owner, kind of a similar type of thing. You know, it's a sequential type of learning journey, and going from you know, I'm a team member, I'm going to become a product owner, I might become a product manager, I might become a solution manager, I might work in the lean portfolio management team, I might be rolling out agile release trains. So these are the different kinds of steps in that learning journey. And so you might start out with some education before you even come into SAFe, like the CSPO and PSPO. You could take the POPM, but you might take the SA, the SAFe Agilist, the leading SAFe class, or if you're in a government environment, the government SAFe for Governments class. And then, of course, even though you're non-technical, you need to understand flow. And so the SAFe DevOps Practitioner class is excellent. It's really for anybody. You do not have to be highly technical to take this course. You can get great benefit out of it to understand what all of this DevOps stuff is all about. And on that same perspective, a product manager, you know, product owner who wants to become a product manager needs to learn about design thinking and needs to learn about Kanban, because that's what product managers live in that environment. So do solution managers. And then you could actually take the IC Agile's facilitation and coaching courses earlier. That can be taken at any time. But before you take you become an SPC, I highly recommend that you take these courses or other similar courses that dedicated time, you know, 5 days, 5 days or 6 days to understand what facilitation and coaching is really, really, really about. As I said, these skills are not just for Scrum Masters. Then we have the professional path for executives. And again, they could have had all kinds of different kinds of starting points. You know, whether it's Scrum Master, product owner, just fundamentals or foundations kinds of courses. There's lots of them out there. Or they may be totally new and have gone through a SAFe practitioner class, SAFe for Teams class with a team. So, you know, a team that is being spun up as part of the rollout of an agile release train. An executive might have gone through that training as well, or maybe even the product owner, product manager training. And then regardless of where they're at, or even if they've had anything before, an executive needs to either take the SAFe Agilist Leading SAFe course or the SAFe for Government's practitioner course, if they're in the government environment, one or the other. And then later on, if they're, since they're going to be working at the port, if they have, if the organization is implementing the portfolio level as part of the transformation, then they're also going to need to take the Lean Portfolio Management course. Some of these people are going to be big change agents in their organization, and they're also going to want to become SPCs, SAFe Program Consultants as well. And along the way, they also might want to take the DevOps course and other types of courses that are beneficial for someone who's going to become a SAFe Program Consultant. So there's going to be some upcoming classes that are going to be organized. Some of them include Leading SAFe, the Scrum Master, the Product Owner and Product Manager, the DevOps, and the Government course. So just contact WebH Solutions to find out when those are going to be. Okay.